Red Bull on the cut. Oh my god! What amazing races! A.G.E, your 2022 World Drivers Champion! Hello, welcome to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Kiss analyze on pauses for Blade House like we do. And to Cable, Davis Kiera, Daniel Boxara, Dorian Vandao, Carlos Eduardo, Livery, Matthew Hart, Chris Cornwell, versus Theo, Revo, Hux Fiducci, Sebastian Ocampo, Rocket Grumbly, Armin Silla, Tucker Van Horn, Nicholas Palomino, Ultro, Ayago, Lamphor, Spiker CB, Marcus Adelaide, and Theory Headley. So here we are for the Brazilian Grand Prix. 3 races to go in the Formula 1 season. Can Chaos Adelaide convert pole to a victory? As we go green in Brazil to start the Grand Prix, we got 17 laps ahead of us, and Blade House like already with a good run into the first corner on the inside of Chaos Adelaide. Up in a first position, Armin Silla picks up a 5-second time penalty back down there in the upland P16. Yeah, good soft BDS, but Adelaide already back onto the inside, and he's ahead on Blade House like by the time they reach the end of turn 4, but he's going to fight this one back easily with that extra traction, and he is back up into the lead of this race from Davey Serkiera down there in P3. You came all going round the outside, and this contact out of the race goes to 2 of them. 2 of the championship rivals are now out of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and this is massive news for Blade House Sonic, as he is now in first position and is currently on track to lead the championship by a whole 23 points as we head in towards Abu Dhabi. Massive collision there, not only physically but also just championship wise as well, as we've got a virtual safety car for right now. And yeah, the best hopes for UK Ball and Davey Serkiera is that Chaos Adelaide and some others will get ahead. That's their only hopes. But VDS now being the best driver on the track right now, that's looking very unlikely. So yeah, this is some early drama in the Brazilian Grand Prix. And Nicholas Palomino goes around the outside and he tries to get Armin Silla. However, Silla's got a way better line as he's now able to attack Van Horn, and they've ended up boxing Palomino in, so he's been unable to go for that overtake that he wanted to. So here is Silla now looking at turn 6 and turn 6 plus 1, unable to get ahead. And yep, for Silla, he's going to have to stay behind Van Horn. And BS fastest in that middle sector. Track limits for Fiducci, he's going to have to be really careful. And he is down there in P11, just dropping to P12 there, as you can see, by the Red Bull of Ocampo, who drops down to 13th. Ocampo flying down this main straight alongside Versio, as Livery set the fastest lap of this race. Is Ocampo going to lunge it into turn 1? He will. He's lunged it, and out of the race there goes Iago. Oh! Contact! Oh, Marcus Adelaide flipping in the air. As Fong and Iago have wrecked in the straight, Adelaide had no time to react to that, and he is out. And that now means 3 of the Brazilian drivers, I think out of 6 on this grid, have retired. It's a disastrous day if you're a Brazilian fan in these Brazilian grandstands here at this Brazilian Grand Prix. But there we go, we're back underway, and it's been an awful getaway for Chaos Adelaide, as now Deverdell is going to put instant pressure onto the Audi, because he's a lot more experienced, so he knows what he's doing. As there we go, Deverdell finding some room, but is Adelaide going to shut that door? Well, he can't really do that right now. There's yellow flags, as Cornwell into the wall, as once again it's an Apex GP involved, as I saw another car that was involved there, just stuck where they were. I don't know who it was, but his track has been clean. It's lap 4 now. Andale is over 3 seconds back on Blade Jack Sonic now. This is looking really bad for the main 3 title contenders, with about 2 that are out of this race. Versio picking up a penalty for causing collision. That is with Sebastian Ocampo. Matthew Hart coming into the pit lane for the first time today, as Versio gets a switchback done on Seb, who is starting to struggle as his super soft tyres are starting to fade away. And looking over here as well, yeah, it's just not good for Andale. He qualified P1, he's not been able to keep the lead. He lost the lead on lap 1 as well, and from there it's just got worse and worse. Yes, he stayed in second, but the gap to BDS just increased throughout the whole race. Now it looks like he's finally cleared Benedetto, but I think you can expect Benedetto to catch up very soon, because the super soft tyres are starting to fall off while the softs still have a bit of life left in them. I can see the super softs are in a bit of a wreck right now, and Daniel Bogsarov clearly feeling the need to pit. Unless this is just a strategy that Merc are trying to use, the undercut strat. As yes, they put him onto mediums, so he's going to be going long. Not to the end of the race, I don't think. I don't know if these guys get to the end of the race. They might be able to. Someone could surprise me by going to the end of the race on these mediums, more specifically Bogsarov. We'll just have to see what goes on. Now Hux Fiduci here in P9, as he sees Ocampo in front, he is going to start to catch. The Ford is going to be quicker than the Red Bull at this moment in time. And we're going to just stay on board with Fiduci until the end lap. Of course, I don't know if you noticed this, but Ford running a special tribute livery here for Tom Leon. May he rest in peace. Now heading through into the last corner. Hux Fiduci has got a good opportunity to get Sebastian Ocampo. It doesn't matter though, Ocampo driving himself into the pit lane, as well as other drivers such as Van Horn and Rocket Grumbly. Ocampo coming into the pits, and let's see what he does. He moves on to the soft compound tyres. Van Horn also onto soft. Bogsarov is going to get by all them. I don't know where he is in terms of like net race position. Could be the net race lead, who knows. But if you're starting on track with your super softs, I recommend you come in the pits because your tyres are very worn. I can say that for a fact. As Matthew Haas had the fastest lap of this race. I think that might have been in the 57s in fact, so very good lap time there. As Crumbly alongside Nicholas Palomino. Palomino being very aggressive there on the attack into turn 4. Crumbly just going to get him back on the exit with that switchback move that puts him back up into the points paying positions into 15th place. Of course, he is on fresher tyres than Palomino, so yeah, the Jaguar may struggle to compete as into the pit lane comes Andale, BDS, and Benedetto livery left to lead the race. And where's Daniel Bogsarov in this? He is coming down the main straight. I see people leaving the pit lane now. As right there is BDS, and he just gets to jump on Bogsarov. However, Bogsarov has a good chance here to get past BDS. Of course, a way better exit to them corners than BDS because he was just faster into them. And sending it on the inside, BDS just not phased at all, as he will maintain 6th position in this race. Ocampo fastest in that first sector. Of course, that Red Bull in P12, he's been on his tyre for 1 lap. He's on the 2nd lap of that tyre. Bogsarov seems to be getting very desperate, and he makes contact with Blade Sonic. He gets a time penalty for it. You see the desperation in his driving, as he just wanted to get ahead of the hyperdrive, but he was unable to. Headley doing a good job at defence here, which is going to bring Chaos Adelaide into this fight gradually. So yeah, that's some really good teamwork out of Audi as they keep Headley out on track on his wearing tyres. Ahmed Silla leading the way, but he has got a penalty, and he is also still yet to pit. I'm going to stay on the rear view here of Thierry Headley, as obviously BDS is right there in 3rd position. He's getting closer and closer, but the Audi will maintain his place. Of course, the active arrow being available for everyone is a massive help. Headley looking to give BDS some room, cutting him off there, as BDS will finally find some place. Oh my god. BDS is out! He goes upside down, and the 3 championship contenders are all out in this race. And that virtual safety car is massive. It's going to bring Chaos Adelaide into the net race lead. I don't know if that was intentional or not by Audi, but it's benefited them. Also a crash gate scenario as we just wanted to get on the inside of Headley. Headley though just moved under braking and the contact was made. And the Chaos Adley up into second place now as he tries to get more closer to our man Silla, leading the way. Silla will stay out. Adley should get an easy run into turn 1. As you can see, the medium tyre Silla in there in first. They are literally rubbing through turn 1. What a crazy race weekend we have had as Chaos Adelaide leads the Brazilian Grand Prix and Theory Headley comes into the pit lane. This is looking very suspicious though on Audi's end. As there we go, medium tyres on for Theory Headley. We have a lot of drama there. First lap we had Sergio and UK Ball colliding with each other, and then we have BDS crashing with Headley. And now Ferrucci has an opportunity to try and get ahead of Palomino. The 2 bump wheels drivers are loving to bump each other in this race. They're getting so close, and into the wall goes Matthew Hart and Spiker CB as a virtual safety car, because out goes Spiker. Looks like Corwell's also involved in that. He must have hit Spiker or something. As virtual safety car and Silla will use this to his advantage. If he can get to his pit box in time, the penalty wouldn't have much of an effect, but never mind. VSC's coming to an end, but it's going to gain him something anyways. And there we go, we are back green. He should be out ahead of Ravo and Ocampo easily here. As on the exit, there's Ahmed Silla, and there is Ravo. And Silla is ahead of Ravo. And now coming down the main straight, that is a car, and Silla gets a penalty instantly. That is Ultra Bro. I thought it was a McLaren, but there was no McLaren nearby on the leaderboard. Yeah, out the pit, Silla with an unsafe rejoin just went onto the track while Ultra was there. So yeah, Ultra lucky to not get too much damage to his car. To find out now, he is a contender for the race win today. He needs a good strategy though. He's going to have to pit again, we know that for a fact. Adelaide could stay out to the end of the race. That is an option for Adelaide. Will he do it? Don't know. But for Dueto, he's going to have to make another stop. Now it's going to be super soft or softs for him. As we're now on lap 11 with 7 laps to go in this race. Fanucci and Crumbly side by side, and Fanucci has an opportunity to get up into 7th. But the 2 bump. I don't know what the drivers' addictions are to bumping each other in this race, but it's certainly weird. Now Crumbly moves ahead of Hux Fanucci, who's in 8th place, and yep, Crumbly successfully gained that overtake. He's now free to try and chase after Taco Van Horn in the Toro Rosso, who has more worn tyres. Fanucci's tyres, they're not doing too great, but they're doing better than Crumbly's right now. And can Crumbly get the switchback move done? No, he cannot. His next opportunity will be into this corner. He sends it there. Fanucci will give him the room required to give, but yeah, with Crumbly's line there, Fanucci is pretty much forced to the inside where he can actually try and move Van Horn, but due to being on the inside, you having to be more careful with your throttle, and as a result, Van Horn pulls away as Fanucci comes into the pit lane. Crumbly will take these places easily as Tavano, yes, he is in pits, and it is for super soft tyres. Bit of a strategy blunder in my opinion. I don't think these tyres will be able to last 6 laps, unless they already have in the past. This race, and I just didn't take proper notice. Well, anyways, yeah, Adelaide's tyres are starting to wear out. Livery could win this race actually. Adelaide may feel like he needs to pit. Livery may feel like he can stay out. Eduardo also, he's doing good in this race. However, he's doing worse than Adelaide, so I bet Eduardo will come into the pits later. I think he should also finish ahead of Bogsarov, who has that 5-second penalty to his name. And is anyone here going to come in the pits? Is Bogsarov coming in? Yes, he is, as Eduardo expectedly stays out. Palomino has a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. He is in battle with Thierry Henley at the moment, as attack Van Horn Bogsarov into the pits. Already mentioned Bogsarov, just Van Horn, who's came in recently. Palomino on the inside line. He takes 12th position very easily, may I say. Yeah, Bogsarov, he's got his penalty served, so he is now penalty free for the rest of the race. However, that has definitely cost him that place to Van Horn, who is most certainly less than 5 seconds ahead, so obviously he was desperate to get out of BDS and it didn't work. And Ahmed Silla has a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. He's got 10 seconds now as he just smashes into the side of Versio. In fact, he used Versio to get around the corner even better, as they make contact once more. These two being very aggressive right now. Versio has the inside line into this penultimate corner. The two are still side by side as they're going to head up the hill. Silla with slipstream as he tries to cut Versio off. He does that successfully, and Silla will easily take 3rd position as Crumbly and Eduardo are in the pits. But here comes Ravo in the Ferrari on the inside line at turn 1, literally just hitting Silla. And now they head through the turn 3, okay, interesting choice by me of words. But yeah, Ravo now up into the podium places. Will he stay out at the end? Possibly. Should he? No. Let's be honest, he shouldn't. Unless he wants to actually risk it, then yeah, sure, go for it. Yeah, for Anderley, he's entering the final 3 laps very soon. He's got 2 more corners left in this lap, and then he'll have 3 more laps to go. He might make it to the end of the race on his tyre. Livery will. That's safe to say. Livery will get to the end on his current tyre. And now we're just looking around for any potential battles. Lap 15 begins. Adley has stayed out. Oh, Ravo, yep, he comes in. Ravo is into the pit lane, as well as Ahmed Silla and Versio. Staying out is Sebastian Cambo in 4th, and Don Verdell in 3rd. He should be fine to get to the end. Because I said it was a very risky strategy what he was doing, but it looks like McLaren have planned this out well. 3 laps to go, them tyres should make it. Cambozo should not. I don't think his will make it to the end. If it does, it's a miracle. But let's be honest, they're not making it to the end of this race. Van Horn in 7th in a net race 6th because of Palomino's 5-second time penalty. It's not been a good day for Jaguar, and it's not been a good day for Ford. As Palomino, could he send on the inside? No, he can't. Van Horn has that covered off. He's also got enough speed in that corner to maintain position, and now he's going to pull away like mad on Palomino. Adelaide staying out on lap 16 as Livery's chances of winning this race keep on going down. He's just not got the pace right now to keep up with Chaos Adelaide, who's currently on for his 2nd race victory in not only this season but his career as a whole. Apologies. And go back to this section of the Mercs. Bogsarov moving ahead of Palomino. I noticed Eduardo did as well, as Crumbly is also going to get closer. Palomino just struggling, but yeah, it's safe to say them tyres can do 6 laps, which is great news for De Benedetto. For Ocampo, I'm still thinking it's not possible, but it's going to be very, very tight timings for Ocampo, as he's just really slow now, so I expect Finucci to catch next lap if Ocampo's pace really does fall off. Now notice as well, Livery's only 2 seconds away now from Chaos Adley. He's gained a lot that last lap, as he has got an Apex GP right behind him, Matthew Hart, who's actually quicker than Adley, but he's unable to get ahead as we begin the 17th lap out of 17 here today. And Adley's just barely surviving. Like, he has Matthew Hart right there in his rear view, and he also can probably see Livery in the Opel, who's trying to chase him down. He's very much struggling to do so, but here we go. This is pretty much just a victory lap for Adelaide, as he is aiming to get this victory. However, Matthew Hart is being a very big nuisance in this. He's very much holding him up, as Livery gets closer and closer. This is actively costing Adelaide a chance of the win, because literally anything could happen down the straight. You know, Matthew Hart could just crash him out, but here we go. Round the final corner. For the second time this season in controversial circumstances, Chaos Adelaide will win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Livery comes home for second place from Torres Vedao, who just gets to the end. Ocampo struggling. His tyres, though, did make it. He proved me wrong, and he actually did make it to the end. Fanucci will just hold on for 5th position from Van Horn, Bogzarov, and Crumply. Ravo is going to round off your top 10 after pitting not long ago. After that's going to be Headley, Ultra, Ahmed still on Cornwell, Matthew Hart 1 lap down, as you can see before. And that is it, at the end of your Brazilian Grand Prix. This is going to be one of the closest races I've seen. 31 seconds separating the field. Obviously, you don't count Matthew Hart in this, as he was a lap down. Really, not much at all separating the field, and I'm so glad we had a great race today, as the 3 championship contenders all crashed out in 2 separate incidents. And yeah, that's going to make things a lot more dramatic as we head into Abu Dhabi, which is the penultimate race of the season before we head into Madrid. Here's Adelaide, your winner today. With that, let's listen to the German national anthem. So that's Podium Adelaide Livery in the Vedao. After was Ocampo, Fanucci, Eduardo Van Horn, Bogdasarov, Crumply, Ravo, Vestillo, Headley, Ultravro, Palomino, Silla, Cornwell, Hart, and retirements at Spiker, BDS, Adelaide, Iago, Thorn, Sekia, and UK Ball. And with that, we're done for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Can't wait to see you next time in Abu Dhabi when the APX F1 series returns.